You guys managed to escape Belknelv. You made your way into the Underdark at large. You have your guide, Shushtar. He is guiding you towards Sloopadoop. So you are now marching as a group. You made camp, and it was a quiet evening. Still uncomfortable because you're still in the Underdark. You don't really have much to sleep on or with. Fortunately, you do have your gear. Your diet hasn't gotten much better since you escaped. You foraged for food the first day. Between the rations you had and the food you foraged, you were able to feed everyone in your party, but you're eating hardtack and nasty-looking mushrooms. Still not great. You're all still feeling pretty miserable, and the high that you had from escaping has worn off the following morning because you've sort of come to realize that your predicament isn't really all that much better. You're still lost deep under the earth, and your best hope is a Kuatoa. And those of you that know the Kuatoa know that they're not really a race of creatures you want to have to rely on. Everybody's still alive. Everybody survived. Nobody died last time.
Nice.
You don't really know what time of day it is. As I stated, time really doesn't have a whole lot of meaning here, except insofar as you occasionally feel exhausted and have to lay down and go to sleep. So you did that. You posted watch and slept and rested. You all feel like you got enough sleep and continue trekking through the darkness. Most of you have dark vision. Those of you that don't have dark vision, are you guys lighting something, or are you just holding on to your buddies and letting them lead you?
Nerosi is being kind with his light cantrip, and he is illuminating like a rock or someone's hat or something. Calvinus, for instance, can like just wear a glowing hat.
Sure. So you get up the next morning. Lupito's morning ritual is a little odd. He wakes up, takes the small knife that he had in his belongings in Belknelv, and starts to like smash it against rocks, cover it in dirt, just totally jack his knife all up so that it's dull and pockmarked and rusty, and it looks really awful. And after it's sufficiently filthified, he looks at it and like he'd done just some really good work sharpening it or something, and satisfied, puts it away, munches on a couple of nasty old dried mushrooms, and is ready to go. Jim Jar spends most of the mornings flipping his coin and chatting with folks, not being terribly helpful as far as it comes to setting down and breaking down camp. Darendil is very, very helpful, although not very useful at those items. He's always right there ready to lend a hand, but his hands are covered in long, sharp talons. And Stool can't do much of anything. He just helps everyone communicate silently. How do you all start your day in the Underdark?
Jeff, has quiet meditation. He's kind of like off to the side, praying to his creepy god of life and death. Thorin goes and talks to Calvinus and asks if they can smoke that joint now.
Of course.
Well, have they taken a bath yet?
No.
Bath?
Yeah, that's what he said. Calvinus had said before.
I've definitely not done that yet.
Wait. Thorin, I told you that we would smoke this after we got a bath.
I thought you were kidding, man. I haven't taken a bath in like 20 years.
But doesn't your genitalia have like fungal orientations on it?
Oh yeah, it definitely does.
You might want to wash that.
Don't you not even like have genitalia anymore?
I think that I have some sort of like gangrenous, like I don't even know, but it's not looking good. I feel like something else is growing there now.
Thorin just kind of quietly backs away.
Hey, look what I can do. Calvinus goes like, starts to like twinkle and shit. He turns into a badger.
There you go.
And he just burrows into the ground.
Thorin says, oh yeah, I had a dream last night about those giant spiders that were trying to eat us. And then I woke up and it was a giant spider. And then Thorin turns into a giant spider.
Which is horrifying for everyone else.
Yeah, Calvinus pops up like 20 feet away, like the hedgehog from Caddyshack, and he's just like, and then pops. Yeah.
Theron is probably meditating. Roland has gotten the map that Theron had and is looking over it to see if he recognizes anything.
That should be pretty familiar to Roland, honestly, a map like that. He would know.
But I mean, like, to try and figure out where they are, like, within it.
No, because your location wouldn't be anywhere on that map. Your location isn't really on this map in any way, so it's not terribly useful for orienting yourself. Nerozi, how does he spend his mornings?
Nerozi's not doing well. He's pretty upset about Enil having died. Also, he's spending a lot of time praying, trying to reestablish his connection with Seraphina.
He is reaching a void there.
He's haunted by this devil on his shoulder that keeps telling him his worst fears, which would have to do with, like, you're never going to get out of here. They're going to catch you.
It's also telling him that Seraphina has abandoned him and that this devil, whatever it is his new guidepost.
Yeah, so y'all can see Nerozi, like, not having a good time, basically.
Nerozi seems troubled, seems to be talking to himself a little bit. Shushtar leads you in the path that he knows to get back to Sloopadoop. You guys had one person forage. That person was successful. You could feed 10 people. Stool doesn't count, so the 3 NPCs plus the 6 of you, so that's 9 people. So after feeding yourself, you are left with enough rations for 1. So you definitely are going to need to have at least a couple of you guys foraging.
Calvinus goes to Thorin and says, hey, can you do this? He casts a little spell. Purify food and drink. We can get, like, poisoned food and water and cast this magic on it, and it actually make it edible, so that might help. What does Thorin do?
He casts purify food onto a rock and then tries to eat it.
Onto a rock.
And fails. Druids can cast Good Berry. Up to 10 berries appear in your hand and are infused with magic. A creature can use its action to eat a berry. Eating a berry restores 1 HP and provides enough nourishment to sustain a creature for 1 day.
Nice.
Thorn's like, oh yeah, no, I don't need to eat rocks. I can just do this. Produces berries out of nowhere.
I got these fucking berries, man.
You guys want some berries? I got like 10.
Bupito shuffles up and he says, yes. Bupito knew it would make a berry for him.
Can we kill Bobito already?
Sticks the berry in his pack. You can do whatever you want to do, man. Jim Jar walks up and he says, oh, thanks, man. Sticks one of the berries in his pack. And Darrendel's like, well, I don't usually eat this type of thing, but I suppose I could. I mean, I have been eating terrible mushrooms and gruel, so may as well, right? And he takes one for later as well. Presumably Thorin passes these out to the rest of you guys. So you guys have the food that you need for today. Plus, you can heal a hit point with it. So you're trying to get out of the Underdark. You're being presumably chased by your captors. You're heading towards Sloopadoop.
That would be kind of just keeping an eye out for any points of interest or other explorers who were in these caves and died and left sweet armor behind.
So Jeff is sort of acting as your scout.
What kind of
perception is the main survival, maybe, but mostly perception if you're keeping an eye out.
His perception is pretty good. Yeah, Jeff does that.
All right, give it a roll. Anybody else trying to accomplish anything or be useful in any way as you travel?
I'd like to roll perception for Nerozi.
He's trying to keep watch, but the devil keeps pointing out shadows moving on his shoulder, and he keeps getting distracted by shit that's not actually there.
Thorin will kind of like scrounge for more mushrooms as they're going, so he doesn't have to keep producing berries.
Thorin finds 5 days worth of rations in mushroom form.
Roland, could I roll like an insight maybe as to like if he recognizes any type of markings or anything that's been left in the drowse like Underdark that may give him a clue as to things that may be near or anything like that?
That's going to be investigation.
Oh, investigation? That wouldn't be insight?
Yeah. No, insight is more of like, insight is about reading people.
Oh, okay.
Investigation is about spotting small details.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, I got you.
As he's left behind the group for a significant period of time doing some of this thorough investigation he's doing, he hears sounds of a pursuit.
Oh.
And it seems very far off, but close enough so that he could actually hear the sounds.
Did he hear like footfall of people following kind of thing?
It sounds like there's a somewhat large group.
Oh. Does he have an estimated arrival time to them?
They're pretty far behind you guys, and they won't show up anytime soon. But if anything slows you down significantly, then you are going to probably be caught by that.
I think Roland, once he hears that, he kind of quickens step back to the group, and just as he's going to the front of the line, kind of tapping people on the shoulder, and is like, all right, guys, we got to pick up the pace. We got followers. Come on. And he's just like moving up through the line, letting everybody know that we just got to do double step now.
So you guys can move at twice your speed, but you can't do anything while you do that. So all this stuff that everybody else is doing, if you guys want to double your speed for the day, you have to cancel all that shit.
Well, as soon as we hear that, at least Jeff immediately gets it and doubles his speed, and like probably has to convince Thorin to stop looking for mushrooms.
Okay, so erase the mushrooms that Thorin found, and instead you all rush through the day. And that's...
Sorry.
So when it comes to like long-term overland travel, like when you're talking about traveling for days and days, most of the time spells and things that increase your speed aren't considered because they either last too short, just have to take breaks and rests to eat and shit occasionally, so that the average time isn't significantly changed by spells. So don't worry about casting spells or anything to try to increase your travel time. The only things you can really do to actually increase like long-term travel time is getting mounts or vehicles or something like that. So you're basically moving at double speed today as you go. And so as you rush along, you are moving as quickly as you can today. You're not taking notice of much, and eventually your path comes to a very large chasm. This is a gorge that is deeper and wider than any of you can see. But it's actually kind of beautiful because as your path leads you to the edge of this chasm, you can see the path sort of winds along the side of this chasm. It's wide enough to walk on, but narrow enough that you kind of have to walk single file. But this chasm is covered from top to bottom with mushrooms. It's like a small fungal forest here. And the scent is a little overpowering of mildew and fungus. But as you get acclimated to it, you can sort of start to appreciate the beauty of some of these mushrooms, particularly those of you that can see in the dark. Because the mushrooms themselves have to take on a wide variety of different shapes. Their differences are not only in their color, but are as much in their shape and texture as anything else. And there are even a few that actually have a little bioluminescence and create a little light here and there. So you begin moving out into this gorge along this pathway along the chasm in this little mushroom thicket. You could find more than enough food to eat for quite a while. You guys, as you're making your way along the side of this ledge, you see that some of the mushrooms appear to be moving.
Let's ask Stool, like, what's going on here.
He's like really not even making any sense at all.
Stool, is this your family?
No, but I'm one of these people. These are who I am.
Cool.
The other mushroom people stand up, and they are significantly larger than Stool. They stand roughly 8 feet tall, and they stand up and they move towards Stool, releasing spores of their own.
Jeff, as Stool's running away, says telepathically, tell your friends that we're peaceful.
They congregate with Stool for a little while, and then them and Stool move towards you, and all of a sudden you hear 4 new voices in your mind, and they say, flesh creatures.
Nerozi says, is there any way that you guys could hide us for a day or two?
We are scavengers and gatherers. We do not have a home nearby. We do not have a hovel nearby. We have been traveling the Underdark for a very long time. So it was like, I asked them if they would take me home, but they said that they aren't gonna go to Neverlight and that. And I said, well, can you just take me? And they said they would never go there.
Wouldn't they go there?
We will never go to Neverlight.
Nice. All right, guys. Should we just go?
Do they have anything to offer us? Barter or trade or anything?
We know mushrooms. We have mushrooms. We can tell you about mushrooms and give you.
Well, if they have mushrooms that we could eat to, as rations and stuff, let's fucking take some of that shit. And can they point us in the right direction to get the hell out of here?
They seem a little confused by the question of get the hell out of here.
Why?
I don't know where the hell what get out of here is. They say you can get out of here by going that way or by going that way.
Thorin says, do you have any mushrooms that do other stuff than just fill us up?
The Myconids, which is what they're called, they say yes. We do not have any, but we know of many mushrooms that can do many things. We will tell you of some.
Thorin's actually drooling right now.
They do have some of these. They say, well, we do not pick these because picking these does not make sense. And they point at the bioluminescent ones, sort of sporadically placed around. Those are night lights. They create light. If you pick them, the light goes out. There are other mushrooms. Eat a mushroom and smell things better. Eat a nilhog's nose. If you would like to create a phosphorescent powder, there is a moss called Ormu. Do not eat the mushrooms that look like large tongues. Many of the mushrooms in the Underdark do a variety of things, but many of them will also kill you. You stick to the barrel stalk, the blue cap, the fire lichen, the ripple bark, the trillimac, the water orb, or the zirkwood. And they describe each of these mushrooms to you. So foraging for mushrooms for all of you now will be easier.
Sweet.
So that'll be at advantage to forage. I also told you about a couple mushrooms that you might be able to find around that have interesting properties.
Thorin's like, go on.
There are only two other mushrooms that we know about. The Timask, the devil's mushroom, creates poisonous spores. If you pick it, you will surely be poisoned. I recommend staying away from that. The other is the torch stalk, which can be lit and will burn for a long time. But they do sometimes explode. That is all we can tell you about mushrooms. And we will take this young one from you and take good care of him. But we will not take him to Neverlight Grove.
Neurosi says, wait. I think we need to get this little guy to his family.
So it's like, I kind of want to go to my family because I love them.
Yeah, sorry, buddy, but he's going to come with us. If that's, it doesn't matter if it's all right. He's coming with us.
I say, we don't care, really. They start to go back to picking their mushrooms and don't really give two shits about y'all since y'all don't seem dangerous.
Calvinus says, is there any way if a bunch of drow come through here, could you, put them to sleep?
They look back at you and they say, we are not in the habits of ending our own lives for strangers we have just met.
Dang.
Okay.
Jeff says they hurt Stool.
Stool is still a stranger we just met.
They're mushroom. Yeah, it's like a mushroom factory.
Just because I gotta see. The biggest one turns to you and he says, mushrooms do not have sexual orifices. And then goes back to what he was doing. You guys keep on moving on past these mushrooms. You learned a little bit about the fungus that you could find in the Underdark. These are actually the first creatures you've met that haven't tried to kill you. At some point during the day, you eat those good berries, and they're remarkably filling. They look like giant blueberries, maybe like the size of like a grapefruit. But as you bite into them, you realize they're actually more like Willy Wonka's everlasting gobstoppers.
Really wonkers.
Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka's everlasting gobstopper, so that each bite is like a different flavor, and as you progress through the berry, it's like the progression through a meal where your first bites taste like a salad, and then you get like a baked potato and some vegetables, and then a nice steak, followed up by maybe a little glass of wine, and then a piece of pie at the end. So the whole thing is this whole sensory and meal experience. It's clearly not the real thing, but it's a good approximation, and especially for people who've been eating nothing but mushrooms. Aside from the little encounter with those mushroom people, the rest of your day goes by uneventful. Who is looking for your campsite, and how are they doing it?
Roland could do it. He's gonna try and find a place that is maybe like in a little alcove along the pathway, beaten off the path. You know, off the beaten path. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Roland's beating off the path.
I hate you guys.
I'm gonna roll perception to help.
Roland actually finds a small place that has, it looks like this was maybe a very long lost storage unit or a thieves' stow or something. Like, he finds an alcove off the side of the path that actually has some barrels and crates and things in it.
Nice.
They are, however, very, very old, covered in a very thick layer of moss and mold. Most of them are broken and partially rotten, and whatever was once in them has either been all decayed or eaten or destroyed by time. So there's not anything useful here, but the room itself is very useful for as a campsite. It's off the path to the left. It stops short of a wider open area. It looks like it's fairly easily defensible as well. So you guys decide to set your camp up in this place that Roland has found. As you are setting up camp, Bupido takes out his knife and starts filleting a mushroom into very thin pieces, which is actually sort of remarkable because his knife is in such piss poor shape from being banged up and dragged through the dirt as he does with his morning ritual. But he's still, with this horribly banged up knife, able to cut these almost paper thin slivers off of the mushrooms that he's eating, and he eats them very slowly and delectably, like they're a fine delicacy. Watching him eat is almost vomit-inducing because of the almost sexual experience he's having with his food. Stool goes off into a corner and actually seems in higher spirits than he has been over the past few days. Darendil would like to take the first watch if that isn't too much trouble. Theron, would you like to join me, us high elves together taking watch? How about that?
Oh, please no.
I'll let you think about it while we set up camp. And then Jimjar sets up his own little sleeping area, kicking some dirt around, rolling out a little bedroll. So you guys came in through a tunnel, right? And this is a little alcove off to the right. And this alcove is like a bit of a dead end.
Maybe we should just say right now what spells we have prepared, just so that it's not,
Just have your spell. Just know what they are yourself. You don't have to tell anyone else.
Okay.
Sweet. Make sure they're on your spell list, clearly listed at the back of the book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the important part.
Yeah, your butt is important.
Nice.
Yep, that's
Thanks, man.
Very important, actually. Yeah.
I think so too.
Good for
It's not
sitting.
that important.
Butts are good for sitting down.
And pooping. Okay, so what are y'all doing as you set up this camp?
Try and figure out what this guy's deal actually is, whether he's a high elf or just an insane.
Yeah, can Roland help him with that and maybe use detect magic or some shit? Or does anybody have dispel magic?
I don't.
Higher level spell. What do you say to Darendil then? How do you do this?
Starting a longer conversation of like, hey, so tell me your story, like kind of playing a therapist, psychology side of medicine, maybe.
Darendil says, well, my story began years and years ago in the kingdom of the Nelra Vandaline. We were born in the high forest,
And Jeff holds up his hand and is like, okay, no, I need you to fast forward to the part where you became a giant monster.
That's a little bit more hazy. You see, I was captured by the drow, and I believe it was a punishment of theirs to turn me into this creature. I don't recall very much about my capture or turning. I just remember finding myself in this cell and knowing that I belong up in the woods with the Nelra Vandine.
Would drows be able to turn him into that?
Roll Arcana.
Jeff helps.
There are some really, really high-level spells you think that could accomplish this.
Okay.
But it would take a pretty serious spellcaster.
I mean, I've known of some drow that are pretty high level and could use that type of magic. It's possible.
Well, okay, you could be telling the truth.
One of the things psychologically that you notice about the way that Darendil is talking about all this is you note that when people are talking about something that is real, There is a lot of detail and seemingly unimportant, or oftentimes actually unimportant things that they put into the story because they're things that stuck in their head. Whereas when somebody is making something up, they generally speak in vagaries and large sweeping story arcs and stuff like that. So the way that Darendil was talking about this lacked a lot of that detail. So you're really starting to think that there's something about this story that isn't entirely true.
Can Roland use like detect magic to see does he have any like jewelry on him that maybe like...
He is wearing some items, but yes, you can cast detect magic. For 10 minutes, you basically have like this little like Geiger detector. Basically,
Oh, okay,
a 30-foot cone in front of you for 10 minutes. If there's anything magical in that cone, you're going to know.
Do I detect anything on him?
No, there's nothing magical on it. What else are y'all doing as you make your meals and whatnot?
Looking to gather as many of those different kinds of mushrooms as he can, especially the torch ones.
Well, he's going to have to look out for that as you travel. There's not anything close by around here. That's going to be sort of a keep an eye out as you go sort of thing.
Fair enough. Then Thorin does nothing.
Alrighty. Who's on first watch?
Roland will do it. He's got the best dark vision.
Jeff will do it with him.
Ha.
All right, have the both of them roll perception. As everyone has laid down to camp, stone hit the floor in front of you. It appears to have rolled down from a ledge, and you can see crouching on that ledge is a creature. It appears to have noticed that you've noticed it, and you hear it grunt something. Then it shouts something. It stands up along with another one. We're going to roll initiative.
Vicious